we not in the game to take punishment. He was turning this guy all night, and this guy know he didn't win. And was he tough? Actually, very tough and rugged.
Shakur, shut me up. Real quick, Shakur. I'm right here. Shut me up. Shut me up. Hello.
For real.
I don't know why.
Just don't cry, bro. Don't cry afterwards.
I don't know why.
Please don't cry.
He'll take it on the chin. He'll be all right.
You gonna cry, man.
Now watch this.
Man,
watch January 31st.
Pound list, man.
After the fight, I want you to talk everything you've been talking since I've been baby.
Man, I can't wait,
I'm gonna show you.
Man, I wish it was tomorrow, man. I wish it was today, man.
Man, we could. I'm ready right now.
Shut you down.
I'm ready at any given time.
I'm tired of your mouth, bro.
Bro, you not like that.
Whoa.
Floyd Mayweather fired back at Teofimo Lopez during the press conference, basically reminding him that talking loud doesn't change what happens once timing and discipline show up.
I'm locked in. I put in the work Saturday night. All of my work is gonna take care of itself. So he could bring whatever he want. He can come in pressure, do whatever he gotta do. He's just gonna bring out the best in me.
You fight, man, because you just want everybody to think you're the best, man. You never fought nobody.
Senior, do not fall when you get in the ring this
Nobody
time,
like
bro.
my son.
I don't want to see
Nobody
that.
like my son.
Stay on your feet.
Bro, he faster, quicker, smarter.
Gotta have it in control.
More entertaining. More entertaining.
Oh, snap.
Shut up, man.
Bigger.
That double stepping that you do, bro, I got that shit
You're
figured
so
out.
mad. I'm under your
Keep
skin.
on
I know
double
that.
stepping, baby.
Then Teofimo Sr. jumped in with full conviction, saying they're going to beat Shakur and freeze him the same way Lomachenko got frozen. Like this is a sequel they already wrote in their heads.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think
pressure's
y'all
on
did
you.
either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You've
for
never
6
been on a
rounds.
big stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches for
You've
6
never been
rounds.
on a big stage like
I
this.
didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
Because we
for 6
froze him.
rounds. Okay, you gonna see.
We gonna freeze you too.
You better not throw the towel in.
Come on, man. You out of your mind.
Okay.
My son fought without no
see.
air. My son fought without no air against convulses.
You can't fight for
got
your
balls.
son. You can't fight
You
for your
gonna tell
son.
me, man? Come on.
You can't fight for your son.
I bet you gonna quit.
Yeah, okay, you gonna see.
All right?
That's when the temperature shifted because Shakur didn't bark. He smiled and said he's going to expose Teofimo, and that calm confidence hit harder than any insult.
Where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything. Again, I'm going to expose it.
You said in your last fight that you proved you were a dog against William Zepeda. What do you want to prove in this one?
That I'm the best. I want to show the world that I'm the best. After this fight, I want to be considered top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, and I can't wait to show it.
You could feel the contrast instantly. One side selling belief and bravado, the other side selling inevitability. It stopped sounding like trash talk and started sounding like clashing philosophies, pressure versus precision, noise versus control.
What was it about Teo that you gave yourself like the this is the one I want him, right? Because I'm sure you at a point where you got options, like you could pick, you could pick and choose. Yeah, I know why. What was it about him that you was like, all right, this is the one? What made you want to?
He's on top of his game, bro. I sat there his last fight in front of New York City.
Times Square, yeah.
He fought Arnold Barboza. He was sharp.
Him stacked what's my boy name that was dead to
one of the 5-4 kings, whatever they want to call it. So he on top of his game, bro. So if I see somebody on top of their game, my competitive edge just kick in. It's like, okay, I already vision right then and there that I want to fight him. Like I want to be in front of him and see how my style do with his style. So it's more so just who the best.
They both have a high level of confidence. Naturally, I think Teofimo is stronger and has more athleticism than Shakur. Teofimo has a good IQ on the sport itself, but Shakur, I feel like he's a smarter and more technical fighter. I'm not saying he's a square or a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned and poised.
I can't be too technical with Shakur. You gotta make it a little ugly. You gotta make it a little ugly. If you try to be too technical with Shakur, it could be too long of a weighted chess match. You know, certain people don't want to see that. They don't want to see pop shots. You know what I mean? They want to see good action. I have yet to see And I think you could attest with me. I don't think we have seen Shakur face anyone higher than who he's going to face next. And that's of me. So, I definitely, commend him at least for stepping up to the plate.
I feel like he's mentally more mature. He doesn't go outside of the boundaries or take risks. A lot of the time you'll see him fight stiffer competition and it will wind up being a boring fight to a degree. That's why everyone is criticizing him. He's a careful fighter. Against Teofimo, I feel that he's going to be a careful fighter.
But I think it's time. I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out.
You really believe that, because everyone will say, oh man, Shakur is probably one of the best defensive fighters in the game. You really believe you can stop Shakur Stevenson?
Yes.
And just because he's a careful fighter, it doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he does things. Shakur has a lot in his arsenal that he can use to make him victorious, as does Teofimo. If I had to give you my honest opinion, if Teofimo shows up and is ready to fight, just like how he fought against Vasily Lomachenko, he'll win.
You saw what Teo did to Lomachenko, and one of the things that I think that gets lost in that fight against Lomachenko is Teo threw more than 100 punches in the final round to make sure he won that fight.
Yeah, no question. Even in the loss that he had against Kambosos, where he had a puncture, like he had some medical condition in his esophagus that was dangerous actually, and it looked like an off night.
And right after all the talk about styles, camps, and chess matches, Richardson Hitchins walks in and cuts straight through the noise with that gym floor honesty you can't fake. Richardson said it himself. He's known Shakur since they were kids, sleeping in boxing gyms, sparring at ridiculous hours, sharpening steel on steel before anyone was watching.
Me and Shakur became really close at a young age. I think we was about 13.
Yeah.
And me and him started off beefing at first, because I was one of the guys that was like, I started boxing a little later than guys like Shakur. I started boxing like 12. Shakur and them guys was boxing like at 5, 7 years old.
Yeah.
And that matters, because when he says Shakur is on another level, it's not fandom, it's memory. When Hitchins says Teofimo is gifted but not on Shakur's boxing level, that's not disrespect. That's perspective from someone who's lived inside Shakur's rhythm and survived it.
At the end of the day,
You think it's competitive though? It's close?
Yeah, I think it can be competitive.
Yeah.
Teo is real gifted. Shakur is real defensive. And I feel like when a fight is super defensive, it can play against you also,
I love how Richardson didn't pretend this is easy, because he still gave Teo his respect, calling him decorated and dangerous, but he kept circling back to the same truth. Boxing-wise, Shakur is different. And when he said Teo told him Shakur isn't used to him, you could feel Richardson smiling through that quote, like, yeah, we'll see, because familiarity cuts both ways. What really jumped out was Hitchins admitting that being too defensive can backfire, but then immediately reminding you that Shakur isn't just defensive, he's a high-level problem solver, which is a huge distinction people miss. And the confidence wasn't loud, it was calm, almost bored, like he already knows how this movie usually ends.
Because if you go in there trying to be really defensive, it can play against you, but Shakur's a high-level boxer, and Teo ain't on Shakur level. Teo know that, and like I told Teo when I see him, I said it's different. He told me that me and Shakur is used to each other. That's why I feel like it's different. He said Shakur not used to him. So in 2 weeks, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Teo is a 3.5.
And Teo, if you were supposed to somehow win, fight me. Fight me. That's the fight that I want. Fight me.
When Richardson said it's different, that wasn't trash talk, that was a warning. The kind fighters give when they've seen what happens once the bell rings and instincts take over. Even when he joked about fighting Teo himself, if the upset somehow happened, you could hear the certainty underneath, like, this fight isn't about hope or hype, it's about skill showing up on time. Hitchins didn't sell drama, he sold reality, and reality says Teofimo has to be perfect for 12 rounds, while Shakur just has to be himself. And if you've been around long enough, you know which of those is harder.
I think I'm sure.
But yeah, but they said they have a game plan. They said they know how they're gonna beat Shakur. We'll see, man. Teofimo's a tremendous fighter at the end of the day. I gotta give ultimate respect to him because he is one of the most decorated young fighters in the sport today. And it's not gonna be an easy task for Shakur, but I just feel like Shakur, when it comes to boxing, Teofimo's not better than him, so it is what it is.
And right after Richardson framed this as a skill gap you only understand if you grew up inside it, Gary Russell Jr. comes in, sounding like the guy who's seen both sides of the storm and isn't impressed by highlight reels. Gary said it clean, intellect over athleticism, and I love that because that's not a diss to Teofimo, that's a warning label. He's basically telling you, yeah, Teo is explosive, gifted, dangerous, but explosions don't scare thinkers who know where the exits are. At the same time, Gary didn't sugarcoat it for Shakur either, because he flat out said this turns ugly if Teofimo applies controlled chaos, and that phrase matters. Gary wasn't talking about wild swings, he was talking about pressure with purpose, 4 or 5 punches, closing distance, touching first, making judges lean forward. When Gary brought up Lomachenko, that wasn't nostalgia, that was a blueprint, because he's saying Teo already proved he can disrupt a master boxer if he commits in spurts instead of posing.
Gordo, when he fought Lomachenko, if he fights Shakur the way that he fought Lomachenko, that will somewhat poke holes in Shakur's game as far as allowing him to dictate the ring, dictate the revenue of the ring. You know, he have to mash the gas, like I say, in spurts. Push Shakur in the defensive, make him want to be defensive, make him question when he punches. And another thing, he has the ability to hurt Shakur too.
And I agree with him here because Shakur doesn't want prolonged physical exchanges. He wants clean reads, resets, space. Gary said if Teo can force Shakur onto the back foot and make him defensive instead of proactive, the optics change fast and boxing lives on optics whether we like it or not. But then Gary flipped it right back because he also admitted if Teofimo sits back, waits, and plays cute, Shakur will potshot him into a long, miserable night that feels like 12 rounds of unanswered emails. What really stood out was Gary saying Teo can hurt Shakur, but not necessarily the other way around, because that shifts the risk equation completely. Still, he leaned Shakur because brains tend to age better than bursts. This wasn't fence sitting, this was layered truth. Gary's basically saying the fight isn't about who's better, it's about who sticks to their identity under pressure. Intellect wins if chaos stays controlled. Chaos wins if intellect gets crowded. And that's why this fight isn't predictable, it's conditional.
I always say intellect over athleticism. You know, I will always choose intellect over athleticism. In my personal opinion, if I had to choose somebody, I'm more so leaning towards Shakur. But I still feel as though it's a 50-50 fight. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. I feel like Shakur, his game plan is to fight the way that he fights.
And right after Gary Russell Jr. laid that whole intellect versus chaos chessboard on the table, Gabe Rosado slides in and somehow makes it louder without raising his voice, which is impressive. Gabe said something that stuck with me immediately. These dudes are champions who still fight like they're trying to earn something, and that's dangerous on both sides. That's not praise, that's a warning. When Gabe talks about this being a high-intensity chess match, I don't hear patience, I hear tension, because neither Shakur nor Teofimo is built to coast when pride gets involved. Gabe leaning Shakur isn't about favoritism either, it's about proof. He brought up the Zepeda fight like, oh, you wanted to see the pocket, here you go. And that's important because Shakur didn't just stand there, he absorbed shots, answered back, worked the body, and still didn't lose himself. That's not abandoning your style, that's expanding it. And when Gabe says people question whether Shakur had the dog, I almost laughed because nothing makes fans louder than realizing they misjudged someone. Shakur didn't bark, he demonstrated. Gabe also kept it real about Teo, calling him phenomenal, not ducking his explosiveness or hunger, because you don't survive this long in boxing pretending threats aren't real. This wasn't hype talk, it was acknowledgement that if both guys show up aggressive, the margin for error shrinks fast.
Shoot, man, that's a great matchup. You got two guys, they got great skills, but are both really hungry. It's like they're champions, but they fight like they're prospects or contenders. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see Teofimo taking a step back, and I don't see Shakur taking a step back. Even though they have the ability to box, but I see this being a high intense chess match. You know what I'm saying? Who do I favor? It's tough, man. I think Shakur is a great boxer.
But the part where Gabe really tilted the conversation was when he talked about the brains behind Shakur, because that's where this fight starts feeling unfair in quiet ways. Gabe straight up said having Crawford, Ward, and that whole championship think tank around you is an edge you can't measure with punch stats, and he's right. That's not just advice, that's experience whispering in your ear, mid-camp, mid-round, mid-doubt. I love how Gabe didn't say Shakur wins because he's better. He said Shakur wins because he's prepared from angles Teofimo might not even see coming yet. You can be athletic, explosive, talented, but if the other guy is being sharpened by people who've solved every puzzle before, that's pressure. And we can sit here and argue style matchups all day, but Gabe is basically telling you this fight might be decided before the bell rings, in conversations, adjustments, and instincts built over years. That doesn't guarantee anything, but it explains why so many fighters keep leaning Shakur, not because Teo can't win, but because Shakur keeps adding layers while staying himself. And that's a scary combination when hunger meets guidance at the highest level.
But Teo's that dude too, man. But I would lean a little bit towards Shakur.
Why so?
Just because he showed a different element in what he did against Zepeda. He showed, all right, y'all want to see me stand in the pocket, I'll stay in the pocket. He stood in the pocket with Zepeda. He broke him down to the body. Yeah, I mean, combinations, had good defense, took shots, and showed that he could take a punch. So people haven't seen that side of Shakur, and he demonstrated that. So he got the dog in him. So everybody questioned it, he showed it.
So when you zoom out from all the voices, all the camps, and all the confidence flying around, this fight really comes down to one simple question we keep dodging. Do you trust discipline more than disruption when everything is on the line? Teofimo brings strength, athleticism, and that explosive belief that one sequence can flip reality, while Shakur brings patience, precision, and a system designed to make moments disappear before they're born. We've heard the confidence, we've heard the warnings, and we've heard the respect from people who've actually lived inside the ring with both styles, and none of it feels fake. That's why this matchup feels dangerous either way, because if Teofimo forces chaos on his terms, history tells us he can bend elite fighters. But if Shakur keeps the fight inside his rules, control quietly strangles momentum. There's no clean answer here, just consequences. Drop your take in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.